blasting through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture, films, and the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties with views to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being American, and YouTube Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Unscripted. I want to start off by saying hello to everyone currently following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Host of Films with Friends, the creator of the 10-word review, Big Al Presents. My co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast, Enigma Severus. Friend of the channel, Deep Enzak. All right. So, as you know, doing things a little bit differently tonight. If I had known that the Paramount Warner Brothers merger was going to blow up the way that it did, I would probably be talking about that tonight. But I'm going to put a pin in that. I'm going to push it back because I wanted to do something a little bit different this week, and something that I have not done in a while. Which is a chat Q&A, letting you, the folks in the chat, you will navigate the show. You are in the driver's seat tonight. Whatever you want to talk about is what we talk about. Want to say hello to Faithful Blue Wrench, channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Perry. All right, so we do have question number one tonight. Question: what is your favorite color? Blue. What is your quest to have a good show and entertain the folks? 3. What is the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? I don't know that. Just kidding. All right. All right. Deep Zach with the next question. What recent Blu-ray or 4K titles have you bought? Recently, Obsession. I'm looking to do, and I still have it in the package. I never took it out of the package. I'm going to do an unboxing of that here really soon. I also have on Blu-ray a movie called The Outfit. I have Point Blank on 4K. That's another one. I've been kind of holding back recently on purchasing physical, even though, you know, on the show I always encourage it. It gets a little expensive sometimes, and you have to you have to pay the bills first. you know. So, and there's this thing called eating. So, I have to take care of that first. But there was just some buys here in like the last couple of months or so. Hello to our man from the future, Sashi. Something you haven't done in a while. Kick yourself off stream. Well, I have. I haven't done that in a bit. So, we get to ask deleted questions, and he can't lie. Well, I have no reason to lie. So, hello to the Horror King. Question: have you bought Blu-rays good enough versus 4K in some instances? It kind of depends, I don't believe that every movie needs a 4K. And the thing that you also have to realize that there are movies that I would like to see on 4K but aren't available. There are movies that I think deserve it that never got a proper Blu-ray or even a DVD release. As Greg of Fanzine Vid says, you start with your favorites. And I do recommend that. Now, as for 4K, I do prefer it, but I don't always think that it's necessary. I'll put it like this. If there's a movie that's really special to you, you can just sit down and watch it anytime, anywhere. That's a movie that you get on 4K. But if it's something like one of those straight to video Steven Seagal movies that he shot in like Bulgaria or something, you don't need those on 4K, or honestly necessarily even Blu-ray. So, I tell you, every time that there is, a new classification, if you go from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray to 4K, there are always 3 movies that I buy to compare the two. And that's Blade Runner, 2001, and The Thing. Blade Runner was the first VHS my dad ever bought when he bought a VHS machine, VCR, whatever you want to call it. So that was always a big favorite in our house. And when we started buying DVDs, Blade Runner was the first DVD. The first Blu-ray that sold me on Blu-ray was 2001, because it was like I'd never seen that film before. Now, the DVD enhanced the experience of watching Blade Runner, because it was this, it was a clearer picture. It was better sound than what you would get on a VHS. And of course, the tape wouldn't tangle up on it. When Blu-ray came about and we bought 2001, a movie that was always a big favorite of mine. And I was catching details in it that I had never seen before. It was like I was watching the movie for the first time. And when I got the 4K for the thing, I felt the same way. This movie that I had seen 100 times. I could tell you every line of dialogue, every scene, every movement. And I was noticing details that I had never noticed before. And you see what the true artistry of the makeup and the visual effects of that film really was. So, I got to tell you, Blu-ray is good, but there are times when 4K is better. And my advice would be you start with your favorites. And no, you don't always have to buy 4K for everything. It is okay to get a Blu-ray. It depends really on the situation, on the film, how much you like it, how much you're willing to spend. Yeah, is another one. Hello to Aged Boomer. Boomer's next program, of course, is his weekly show, Geeky Geezers, at 9 p.m. Eastern, right after this broadcast. And, of course, right after that, Reserved Seats, where Boomer will be my guest. And we are going to be talking about the Dario Argento film Deep Red from 1975. Enigma says, I follow a chess channel. Guy on there said that 4K is not something our eyes perceive in its entirety, so Blu-ray does this fine. However, how should I know I'm not that smart? I can see, I don't have a 4K TV, number one. So you are missing out on the full experience of it if you don't have one. But I can tell the difference in quality between a Blu-ray and a 4K. Your standard Blu-ray and a 4K. Poor King says, I have a videotape that is so rare it's never been officially released on DVD, Blu-ray, and I've never seen it on sale online. Oh, wow. What would that be? Oh, you're welcome, D, anytime. Am I a fan of Sean Connery's outfit in Zardoz? To which I would answer, what outfit? He's wearing a slingshot. That's it. So, am I a fan? No. Son loves that movie. She started the club for it. Yeah, pretty much. Second only to T2 for her, indeed. The videotape is Cossacks Volume 3. You can watch it here. The quality isn't very good. Because you had it converted to a DVD several years ago. Watch it every so often. Okay. Enigma says, just joking on that. Yeah, I've seen some films get left by the wayside, making it to DVD and others. However, I do know how to transfer a VHS to a DVD. Where's the Blu-ray for Barbarian, guys? Just saying. I wasn't like the biggest fan of that movie, but I kind of want to get it now out of spite. And thank you, Connie Cleary, for gifting the membership. Let's see, who was the lucky winner? All right, Pinochet's helicopter tours. Right on. Congratulations on becoming a member. Welcome to Last Call Troy Pacelli, who, of course, will be co-hosting Geeky Geezers at the top of the next hour. It's HD when you can count the pores on the star's nose. Indeed. Dario Argento movie Sin did a review of one. Yeah, Sin has a review out right now for a movie called Phenomena from 1985 with Jennifer Connelly in one of her first movies and Donald Pleasance. It was in this country, it was called Creepers, and it was edited down by about a half hour. But Phenomena is out there. It's on, I believe, Shudder has the uncut version of it, and it's one I've been meaning to get around to. But the one that Boomer and I are going to be talking about tonight is a movie called Deep Red from 10 years before that, 1975, and has David Hemmings in it, and Daria Nicolodi, of course. Really the only two actors in it that I recognized, that I could put a name to a face to anyway. Interesting film. I'll be going into detail. I even notes, folks. And says, I think the Barbarian Blu-ray is finally coming out. Yeah. Like I said, I was a big fan necessarily of Barbarian because I kind of figured out what was going on in it kind of early on. And, and once a certain actor popped up, I said, okay, I know where this movie's going from here. And I mean, not a poorly made or acted movie. I saw too much of it coming. But if there is a physical release, I'm going to get it anyway, just out of the fact that, it at least deserved a home video release at the time, and it never got one for whatever reason. Boomer says Phenomena's his favorite Argento film. Cool. Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get them peepers? Sorry, you said creepers. Name all-time top 5 movies that come to mind. Pulp Fiction definitely comes to mind. Top Gun Maverick, Citizen Kane, Heathers, and I would still say, just off of the fact that I've seen it probably more times than any other movie, I would say the first Star Wars from 77. That would be like right off the top of my head. I could just as easily take any one of those out and put Seven Samurai in there. I know we could all make a 5 or 10 list for every genre, honestly. Yeah, I probably could. Hello, channel member. Geek Flag with Nate Nose. Indeed. Boomer says it came out on August 11th. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll definitely have to look into that then. What was the most shocking scene for you in Obsession? It wasn't how it happened. It was because I pretty much knew what was going to happen. It was the how that shocked me. Um, without giving it away for people in the audience that I know haven't seen it yet, there is a scene involving a brick. I didn't see that coming. Um, there's one other thing that happens, but it happens so quickly that you almost don't have time to register it. Um, there's another one that I would say not so much shocking but disturbing, but it's kind of spoilery, and I don't want to get into it. But yeah, well, I do know there are a couple of people listening in Enigma who haven't seen it, so that's why I'm being a little careful about Obsession right now. You can try. All right. Any other questions? We still got a good half hour to go here. Before I send everyone over to Boomer's channel. Where do you land on Jason or Mike Myers? I thought Mike Myers was a funny guy up until like the Love Guru, and then I think the wheels fall off the car. Oh, you mean from Halloween, right? All right. I am convinced that that Jason is a deadite. Yeah, I'm with the theory that Jason's a deadite. Jason is a weird one because, and this is kind of the thing that Michael Myers has dropped into as well, is that the timelines for Friday the 13th and in particular Halloween have gotten so confused that you almost have to, like, to me Halloween has become a choose your own adventure, you know. um like if I was to, if I was to pick, like, say if I wanted to take the existing Halloween films and make my own trilogy, then I would say the first two, and then either H2O or take that out and put 2018 in there. You know, in retrospect, maybe it's best that you could take, you know, maybe it's best that you just maybe did an anthology series, you know, out of Halloween. And I've gone into that on other shows, but with Jason, to me, it's kind of a different story because Number one, how do you explain him surviving the drowning to begin with? Because the whole reason that his mother did what she did was because he had died. If he's just wandering around in the woods, she never would have done it. She just would have found him and taken him home. But the thing with Jason and Mike Myers is that they're both forces of nature. They are kind of that indestructible boogeyman. It's like they keep going for as long as you believe in them. I don't know. That's just my thought. I kind of feel that both franchises have lost a plot at this point. And, and that's why people watch these movies and start rooting for the killers. Because they are the one constant. What's on your shelf book-wise? I'm actually reading The Dog Stars right now by Peter Heller. I'm really early into it. I'm like about 20 or 30 pages in. And that's actually going to be a film that's coming out in a couple of weeks. Hopefully I can finish the book in time. I recently read a book called Dad Had a Bad Day. And I don't know, it's a quick read. I read it in over a 4-day period, probably 2 or 3 hours each day. It's a quick read. I don't know where I am on it, because I have this tendency to kind of be on the side of the lead character. But in this book, the first half of the book spends its time building this character up. And then the second half telling you that everything that this character has been doing is completely wrong. And that's kind of a hard thing to get my head around. It's one of those books where it's like, oh, it's this character drama about a guy going through a midlife crisis. That's what it appears that it's about. But it's really just like a thing about toxic masculinity and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I guess. I was just kind of, it's a quick read. It's well written. It doesn't spoon feed information to you, but it's very meh in the end for me. So that's kind of a recent read. I've been trying to finish a book a week. My goal is to have 52 books finished before the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to make it though, because I'm only on like my 17th book. So I've already read about as much as I did last year, which again, I was shooting for 52. But it's something I need to get back to again. But those are the recent books. What is the meaning of life? 42. Horror King says, I found Obsession to be an okay movie, but compared to Iron Lung and Backrooms, it's not as good as them. They're all good. They're all good films. Backrooms, I was especially surprised by. That hit me on an emotional level I wasn't expecting. But I thought they were all good films. What is the one thing you'd like to do? Anything on the table? Anything that's on the table. One thing you would like to do. I would like to. I'd like to get to a point to where I work for myself. Because the job I'm in right now, it pays, but I've kind of lost my taste for it. And if there's anything I would like to do, it would be just something where I was working on my own and just kind of being my own man, and not having to work for anyone else. That's my main thing. It's kind of being my own man and doing my own thing. That's what I would like to do. Boomer says we needed Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. We did. And there was a time there when Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, and Bruce Campbell would have been down for it, and they would have been young and healthy enough to do it. Sadly, it never happened. So we just have the comic. Do you believe we could potentially fully ignore the bad Star Wars films like the newest trilogy and remake them? I mean, if you would want to do that, then my advice would be to just, because my thing right now is just kind of stick to the original trilogy and just leave it at that. To me, that's Star Wars. 1977, 1980, 1983. Those three films, that to me is Star Wars. They told the story they wanted to tell. Yeah, they changed some things along the way. But to me, honestly, past the OT, you can skip really the rest of it. So if you wanted to ignore that trilogy, ignore it. If you are a Star Wars fan, dyed to the wool, no matter what, and you're going to go down with the ship, that's fine. I'm not telling anybody what they can't or can't watch. But for me, Star Wars is that original trilogy, and the rest. I mean, the prequels, I can take them or leave them. They're not great. As far as remaking them, that's not going to happen under Disney. I think if Disney had their druthers, they would remake the original trilogy. I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried. Nate says, no comparison of the two. Jason is a supernatural force of evil. Michael Myers is a psychopath. People forget to finish the kill when they have him on the ropes. Yeah, but Michael, like Jason, he keeps surviving. I mean, they've shot him, they've stabbed him, they've blown him up. They even went and threw him into that chipper where they demolish cars at the end of the last one, and somehow I got a feeling he's still going to survive that. D. Pensac recommending the TCM Greatest Classic Film Collection, 4 DVDs per set, double-sided discs. Be careful, disrupt defects. Yeah, the disc rot thing, it was just like those discs that were defective that got made by that one company because of the glue or whatever. Um, Honestly, I think I only have like one disc in my collection that was affected by that. So far as I've been able to tell. But you don't see the spots that develop too. So I don't know. Maybe what happened to that disc wasn't the disc rot. Maybe it's another issue. But really, I've just kind of had that one problem. Yeah, it that was another problem. Was That's another problem to getting stuff made is who owns the rights. There's a whole thing going on right now where they wanted to do another. They were going to do like a Return of the Living Dead, like a direct sequel to Return of the Living Dead. And it turns out that the guy who claimed to be the rights holder really wasn't. There's a channel called Planet CCH. Head over there and subscribe to that guy's channel and watch the videos that he's done about this court case that's been going on. It's very interesting stuff. He doesn't just review horror movies or review upcoming discs. I mean, this guy, he takes a deep dive into this stuff and a lot of behind the scenes skinny. So yeah, be careful when you know some of the reasons why some of these movies don't get made are because of the rights, and they're so all over the place. King says I made 2 timeline videos about Friday the 13th. I'll try to track those down and give them a look. Troy says, I like the idea of a Deadite, which puts it in the Army of Darkness universe, but I choose to call them Revenants. Yeah, that works too. Yeah, Revenant is probably even a little bit better. Friday the 13th Righteous use a very interesting turn of events. Yeah. I'm very curious to see what they can get away with. With this Crystal Lake series and what they're going to be able to do, and is it going to match up with any timeline at all? I'd be curious to see. I'm not expecting anything great, but I'm curious. When they took Jason into space, that's when they jumped the shark. I got to be honest with you, though, guys, and maybe you'll stick me with Spears and want to unsubscribe. I actually like Jason X. I have fun with that movie. It's totally ludicrous. And it's desperate. And it does jump the shark. But damn, that is a fun movie to watch. It's a guilty pleasure for me. But I get it. It's not for everybody. I look at that movie as you take out like a xenomorph from Alien, and you just put in Jason, and it's the same movie. I have a lot of fun. With it. Meaning of Life, a film by Monty Python. What's the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? Asked and answered. And hello again, JPRPH1, channel member. Good to see you, sir. Agreed. Space seems to be the last resort for a lot of films now, sadly. Leave space alone. Favorite MST3K episode? Mitchell. Manhunt in Space is a really good one too. Horror King says, I saw Ice Cream Man earlier this week. Thought that the movie was really stupid fun to watch, but it's just very stupid. I would suggest watching it because it's a lot of fun. Yeah, if you take that movie for what it is, you know, you can get through it. But if a lot of like gore effects and stuff like that bother you, then it's not going to be for you. But yeah, I took it for what it was, and it's kind of a mild recommend for me. Nate says, the only way to save Star Wars is for Disney to sell it to someone else. Then that person can completely forget about everything Disney did and start from the last real Star Wars movie. Yeah. Which, as far as I'm concerned, as I've said, would be Return of the Jedi. Hello to Gap After Dark. Jason went to space, indeed. Yeah, only Disney is only interested in the money from the toys and the extra sells. Movie are literally a side hustle for them. They've lost the originality they truly have. Yeah, yeah, but the trouble is the merchandise isn't selling either. Nobody wants a Rey action figure. I'll tell you that. Disney, and more importantly, Bob Iger, dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. They bought Star Wars because it was boys' brand. They had the girls lock the princess. Then he let KK try and turn it to the girls' brand. Yeah. It was a bad move letting Disney buy 20th Century Fox, and it was a bad move for George Lucas to make Kathleen Kennedy the heir apparent. Jumps the shark, but in a fun way. Favorite cookie? Oreos. Always. A lot of horror movies need a bit of space. Yeah. Boomer says High School Bake Shot is his favorite MST3K. Yeah, that's a good one too. Favorite underrated film people need to see. Oh, there are a few. I think Life of Chuck is really underrated. Um, one that came up in conversation recently after a chat was a Western called Appaloosa with Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen. And it's based on this book series that got started by Robert B. Parker. And Robert Parker was the author that created the Spencer novels. And that went on to become the TV series Spencer for Hire. And he wrote a series of Westerns about this regional U.S. Marshal who's Virgil Cole, who's played in the film by Ed Harris. And along the way, he picks up a deputy, Everett Hitch, and he's played by Viggo Mortensen. And Viggo Mortensen, Hitch, he's like narrating. He narrates the books. It's all like his point of view. And he narrates the books and he narrates the film as well. And that's one that I thought deserved a bigger audience, because I would have liked to have seen them continue those characters. But that's a couple. I'm thinking of doing, of like maybe formulating that as a list, and maybe doing a show or shows on like underrated films, and then just get the movie that Sin likes, The Outfit, that we brought up earlier. That is an underrated film. That deserves to be seen by a lot more people. Hello, Detroit's better half. Editors Network. We got a few minutes left. I don't want to miss anybody. So you're saying Luke wakes up in a bacta tank realizing it was all a dream. No, Uncle Owen would still be alive. We don't need that. Tim says Space Mutiny. Space Mutiny's another really big favorite of mine as well. Probably, yeah. That's definitely my top three is like Mitchell, Space Mutiny, and Manhunt in Space. Nate calling Missy season, indeed. Redo, or Redux, whichever. Underrated. People need to see it. Yeah, I need Justice, Redemption, Motherly Love. Great film. Yeah, I need to get to that one. Underrated movie, Carnival of Souls. Yeah, people like hack on Carnival of Souls, but it's actually a pretty good movie. And it got kind of a remake in like the late 90s, early 2000s with a movie called Soul Survivor. With an actress named Melissa Sage Miller. And Luke Wilson is in it, and Casey Affleck. And it's not bad, but they really, really ripped off Carnival of Souls for that film. Appaloosa is a very enjoyable film. I agree. You take us with the ideas back. Don't make me come down to that shop. Oh, purchase glasses and complain. If you ever want to see a really bad but entertaining movie, Shark Side of the Moon. It's to be original. I've heard about that. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. It's a Tubi movie. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have some guilty pleasures. Ed Harris directed Appaloosa and Pollock, both very good. Indeed. Yeah, they are both very good. There was a color remake of Carnival of Souls. I think it was 98. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the one that I'm thinking of. Parkin. Yeah, Connie's done that one a couple of times. That's a good film. Thank you again, D. Penzak. All right. So let me very quickly here do a little bit backstage here, because I do want to remind everyone at the top of the hour, of course, is Geeky Geezers over on Aged Boomer's channel. He needs to watch hours, guys, to make monetization. So please head on over there to Boomer's channel for the next episode of Geeky Geezers. He's co-hosting that, of course, with Troy and Netter. They're going to be starting up here in a few minutes. So please join me over there in the chat. Stay to the end and you will be redirected. And I also want to remind everybody that Boomer will be joining me later tonight as my guest on Reserved Seats. And we are going to be discussing the Dario Argento film Deep Red from 1975. Yes, the Mega Shark movies, all of the Asylum movies are on are available pretty much either on their YouTube site or on various streamers. Some of them are actually pretty good. That's a weird thing that kind of happened recently. As I did a review a couple of years ago. I did a short for an Asylum movie called Planet Quake. And last week, for whatever reason, that video got like 200 views in like 48 hours. I don't know why. Because that's like a really random video. But apparently it's out there. So if you want to check out that review, go to my page and go to a section called Movie Reviews 2024, and Planet Quake is on there, and you can see my my short, like 1 minute or so review of that film. So yeah, it's just this odd thing that happened. I don't know why. I didn't promote it or anything. It's just a video that's on my channel. Should I do a live stream watch along of the Odyssey by Asylum? We'll see. We'll see if I can fit it in. I don't really do watch parties on my own, Horror King, because I usually have some kind of bandwidth issue. I did one watch party one time, and it was kind of a disaster. If it wasn't for Troy jumping in the way he did, that show never would have happened. But we'll see. Maybe sometime down the line I'll start doing watch parties, and I'm definitely going to mix them. I'm definitely going to mix up the kind of films that I do. So who knows? Maybe sometime down the line. I'll be honest with you. I'm curious about seeing it. So we'll see. All right, folks. I want to thank everyone on X who is watching. We did have a few. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to thank everybody who is here in the live chat. Thank you all for your questions. I want to thank Connie for the member chat. And welcome to Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. I am going to add you to the list here while we have a moment. I gotta fix the credits, folks. Give me a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. I think I got that all taken care of. And thank you again, Connie. Talk. Hello. Did you see the lead his hair? It's like he's going to do an award show. Hello to the Clue Studio. And if you are if you become a member of the channel Sashi, you can enter for as low as $1.99, and you will be into credits at the end of the show. All right. So speaking of which, we do have Geeky Geezers coming up in a couple of minutes. I want to thank everyone who joined tonight. From HQ in all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.
Steven Ronin's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture films in the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties with views to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah, yeah. Steam out on your YouTube, brother, let's roll.
That's all, folks.